this is my very first YouTube video, so I'm a little bit nervous, and I apologize for any like lots of ums and awkwardness, anything like that ahead of time, but I'm going to try to communicate as clearly as I possibly can. So, and the purpose of this YouTube video and this YouTube channel and future videos are to document a specific area of mine and my husband's life, which is infertility. And we are actually at the beginning stages of IVF. So I want to bring you guys along in every step of the way. And the purpose is really to continue to give a voice, a face, an experience to this struggle, to infertility, to IVF. And I know for me, I've benefited so much by other YouTube videos, other friends, even like Michelle Obama sharing that she had to do IVF and she struggled with infertility. Just things like that to kind of keep reiterating that message that you're not alone, because it can feel super isolating when so many people around you are getting pregnant so easily and quickly, and you feel like you're being left out of a milestone that you kind of expected to happen in your life. And so yeah, I just wanted to do this for that continued message that you're not alone. Also, for just keeping a record of what we're about to go through, what we will go through on this journey to have a child, for my husband and I to look back on and remember, and hopefully with that end result being that child that we did so long for. So yeah, and this video is basically our infertility story so far. So a recap of what we've been through for the past 5.5 years. And I'll start off by just saying we got married in January 7th, which today is January 2nd. So January 7th is coming up soon. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video because I'm new to this, so it might even be after January 7th. I don't know. But anyway, we'll be married 7 years because we got married in 2012. And we decided, you know, it's funny looking back when you try to plan things and figure out when you want to have a baby and all that stuff. But everyone does that. So anyway, and we didn't know that we would have any issues or anything for sure. But so in October of 2013 is actually when we decided to start trying. And, you know, of course, we don't really know what trying means that fertile window and that exact timing and everything. We're just, you know, expected just to happen kind of. But at the same time, I had people that I knew that had struggled with infertility. And so I wasn't super expecting it to happen right away, and knew that it could take time. And even friends that, you know, it did take them, 6 months or so to get pregnant. But, you know, once it gets to that year mark, it's definitely kind of that, oh, wow, okay. We're officially struggling with infertility. So at the time also, and still now, I really love nutrition and just living a clean life without any harsh chemicals in our house and processed foods and high sugary foods and all that stuff. And I kind of thought at the time that I could, because I was kind of researching this stuff back then and getting more into it back then, and thinking I could fix whatever was wrong with us, and somehow, which I do think is a great thing, and your body needs that support when it's trying to have a baby. But anyway, we still were not having success. So it's, that's discouraging, definitely. And it's discouraging going through this, every month with just that hope of maybe, and then that devastation of, no, my period's here. And and some months are easier, some months are harder. And something else I've kind of thought about these past 5.5 years is I feel like the years have gone by fast, but the months have gone by slow. And I don't know if any of you may resonate with that or relate to that, but that's kind of how I feel like this journey has been. Can't believe it's already been 5.5 years, but every month drags on at the same time. So Anyway, we did some testing at some point. I don't remember all the dates of everything of when we did stuff, but we did some testing. It was definitely after, maybe a year and a half or 2 years even, that we did some testing. And we, everything really came back normal. All the hormone levels for me came back normal. I did a HSG test, which that came back perfectly normal and really wasn't a painful experience for me. I know some people, it can be very painful for them, but for me it was not bad at all. Maybe because I didn't have blocked tubes. But then my husband did a semen analysis, which came back perfectly normal and actually really good. And so anyway, we at some point, after getting those testings done, I decided I would try acupuncture. And I had done acupuncture in the past, but wasn't really intentional with it and consistent with it. So I decided to set aside 3 months to really dive deep into it, take herbs, do all this stuff. And, we didn't get success from that. And actually sometime after that time, I decided I just needed a break, and which was really, really good. We basically took like 6 months or so where we just didn't, really try very hard, where I actually deleted all the tracking apps on my phone of tracking my cycle, so I just didn't even look at that. And that was really good. I'm not saying it was completely out of my mind. It's definitely would be at times still in the back of my head, and even that thought of in the back of my head, like, well, we're relaxed, we're not stressing about it, maybe now it will happen. And so that, it can totally, those mind games, man, they can be really tricky. So anyway, we then, it actually got to the point, and this is actually a year ago, where we had this huge provision in my family, financial provision. And they graciously came to us and said, we're not forcing you, we don't like saying you have to do this, but we want to take the financial piece out of your decision of if you want to pursue fertility treatment. And because I was very hesitant to do it, and a big chunk of reason of that is financial, because my insurance covers nothing. So definitely that was a huge thing that was keeping us from going down that route. But also just, like I said, I love nutrition. I'm kind of this crunchy, clean person or whatever, and didn't feel like I really wanted to go down that route unless it was absolutely possible, like the last resort or whatever. But it kind of got to that place where it's like, with that, kind of helped make that decision too, and just be like, this is, and prayer and thinking and discussing and surrendering, and just, and it's scary to go down that road, because there was also that thought in my head of, if I go down this road and it doesn't work, then in my head, I feel like I'm left with, there's no hope after that of having a child, because I've done everything at that point. And that was hard to wrestle with. And so when I say surrender, it really was this surrender to God. And we have we love Jesus. We have a relationship with him. We believe in him. And he's a huge part of our lives. And so and knowing that he doesn't promise that he would give us a child specifically. He never promises that. But he does promise that he'll be with us no matter what. And I know people take that verse, he will give us the desires of our heart, but ultimately, and that maybe he gives us a child, but ultimately our true desire is to be with him and to be intimate with him and to know him. And so I know that that's a promise that I can count on for sure. But anyway, we decided to move ahead, and we set up an appointment. And actually, in March of this past year, we, he actually reviewed our blood work and everything, and he actually said there is one issue here, and it was my AMH level. And at that time, when he was looking at the paperwork, which had been done a year and a half or 2 years before that, that it was at 1.2, which is low, he said. And he also did an ultrasound that Miss Wanda, as everyone knows, that goes up in there and looks at everything, that I had a lower antral follicle count. I only had 9 antral follicles total. And so he suggested that we do IUIs and with medication so that I could produce more than 1 follicle and hopefully have a good egg in one of those, and we would get pregnant. And so I actually waited a little while before I jumped into that because I wanted to incorporate acupuncture with that. So I did a couple of months of acupuncture just prepping and then continued to do it with it. And, you know, we actually ended up doing 4 IUIs with medication, and all of them failed. We did not get pregnant. And so I knew that that next step was IVF, and I was kind of scared, definitely scared to jump into that next step, but at the same time, really grateful that we even have this opportunity, because so many people don't have the opportunity. And also that our chances go way up with IVF. You know, I think everyone's different, but they gave us a 60% chance that it would work, and I know that still means there's a 40% chance that it won't, but it's still much better than with the IUIs when it's like 15 or 20% chance. So currently, I have started the IVF protocol. I actually did not start with birth control since I do have low AMH and low antral follicle count. And actually they retested my AMH and it went down. It actually is at 0.8 now. So, so anyway, they decided not to do birth control and do a Lupron injection, where I do Lupron injections. And I've been doing that since December 27th, every morning. And on January 4th, I will go in for lab work and my baseline ultrasound, and then start the stimming medications on the 7th. And they've estimated that I will then do an egg retrieval on January 18th. So that can change because it depends on how my body responds to the medicine, but we will definitely bring you guys along through the whole process. And actually my clinic does a freeze-all, I guess, protocol where they don't do any fresh transfers. And they said the success rate is actually better now with the new technology of freezing embryos. And so they will, you know, hopefully we'll have some good embryos that will get to that stage where they can be frozen, that 5-day stage. And then we actually will take a whole cycle off and then prepare for the frozen embryo transfer, which will probably be around the beginning of March. So yeah, we won't find out till probably middle of March if all of this, this first time going through this will work. But we'll definitely bring you guys with us through it all. And I would love to just hear from those of you who are watching this video, who have seen this video, just where are you on your infertility journey? Are you just beginning to start trying to have kids? Are you doing IUIs? Are you about to do IVF? Are you currently doing IVF? Have you done IVF? Did you end up with your miracle baby, or was it a heartbreak of just not working? Or potentially, even if any of you are watching that maybe you're watching videos like this because you want to know how to support and understand your friends or family who struggle with infertility. That would be super cool. And it would be a great thing for even those of you who do struggle with infertility to maybe suggest to some of your friends or family who, maybe want to know more about what it's like. So anyway, I thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to continuing to interact with you and just share this journey with you. And again, you are not alone. You are seen, and this just reiterates that in doing these kind of videos. And so see you next time. Bye.